Well, hey everybody, it's Dr. Sasheen. We are live. It is Sunday. Let me make sure that we're actually live and that we are hearing each other. So, you know how the deal is. Got to make sure we're actually live here. Um, it is a snow day right now. There we are. Fantastic. So, hi everybody. Okay, so I'm looking a little rough. I didn't do my hair or anything like that today because it's a snow day, and it's been kind of a cuddly day. It's really cold. It's in the double digits, trending towards the single digits, and so it's a little cold. So you got me all snuggly. My hair is not really combed. I got a bun going on, but I wanted to come in and talk about 2025. We are only 4 days, 5 days, excuse me, into 2025, and it feels like already things are going in so many different directions because so many things are happening to get our stress levels high. And so I wanted to come on and first of all bring a little lightness back to what's been a very hard 5 days. A lot has happened, some tragedies have happened, some good things have happened, but unfortunately, bad news just travels faster, right? It's just kind of how it works. But we're only 5 days in to the new year. We know a lot of things are coming. And so I thought to myself, what can we talk about? What can we focus on today to help kind of bring some, um, you know, to bring us back into focusing on what's really important for us to embrace in 2025. Now, like I said, there's a lot that's happened in the past 5 days. I'm not knocking that, right? I am literally in the midst of a snowstorm right now. So that if you've been watching the weather about the Midwest and that band of snow that's moving really slowly through the Midwest, I'm living in that. In fact, on the big screen in front of me is a 24/7 weather channel keeping track of that storm because we're in the midst of that. Now we are fortunate in that we didn't get a ton of the ice. We got some of it. But right now we are getting dumped on with snow. And I mean dumped on. I could show you, but it's getting dark outside. Yeah. So anyway, so there's a lot happening, and that's just day 5 of the new year. And so as I was thinking about this morning, as I was writing in my journal, I was like, you know what we need to do is refocus on what's important. And last time I was talking about the Magical Seven. So if you haven't got a chance to download your copy of the Magical Seven, striving and excuse me, thriving and surviving and thriving in 2025, you should go ahead and download that as soon as you can and start working on getting your priorities straight for 2025. But I got something else for you today. We're going to talk about what should be on your 2025 bingo card. And I made us a bingo card to talk about together. So let me see if I can get this to work right because I'm good like that. Look at that. Uh-oh, not good like that. See, this is what happens. You think you've got things open and then come to find out you don't. There it is. All right, so I made us a bingo card to talk about what we're going to focus on in 2025. So here's our bingo card. Um, and it's kind of tongue in cheek, but at the same time, it's really not because what I know to be so true about Gen X women, especially, is that we can be paralyzed with information overload just as quickly as anybody else because we have knowledge of what has happened in the past few decades. Like we've been around a long time. We know the cycles, we can see them repeating themselves sometimes, but there's also the wild card of the people involved in certain cycles this time that have us not quite sure what they're going to do or how they're going to act. And so it can be really difficult for us to start taking steps towards our own peace because we're just not sure what the rest of the world is going to do. And so we do nothing. So today I want to talk about why we're going to do something and what are we going to do. So let me make this as big as I can because I'm still playing with this new software. Oh, no, that's too big. That's too big. Um, let's do that. I think that might be too small, but I can always zoom in. All right. So, oh, that's what it was. Okay. Yeah, listen. I spend so much time working on computers. You think I would figure this stuff out, but I don't always. Okay. So what is on our bingo card for 2025? Well, number one, first and foremost, is always and forever going to be, which should never come as a surprise, is that your peace is still non-negotiable. 5 days into the new year, are you protecting your peace? Are you protecting your peace? Are you watching the news again? And if you are, this is no shade and no shame, but I'm going to ask you the very difficult question. Are you more invested in making sure that you don't miss a breaking news story, or are you more invested in making sure that you don't sacrifice your peace on the altar of trauma? The Cybertruck exploding, the New Orleans crash. Those are really big and important stories. They're very important to the culture, to the times. They're also not going to stop. Remember, we just came out of 2024 where every day something new broke. And in a nation that is in love with trauma in some ways, there's always going to be the next thing on the horizon. It doesn't mean that we desensitize ourselves to what's happening. It does mean, however, that we drop the curtain sometimes and we go, I cannot necessarily give my all to everything that's happening outside of me. I have to pull in and make sure that I'm okay. And I'm hoping that our 2025 bingo card will allow us to refocus on some of the things that might be starting to feel like they're getting out of our grasp because it's only been 5 days into the new year and there's a lot happening. Ergo, this big old snowstorm I'm sitting in the middle of. So I'm going to post this the bingo card for you if you want a copy of it. If not, that's fine. But if you do, I will definitely make sure to put the PDF attachment where you can get to it. So let's talk about, I got to be able to see it. Let's talk about this bingo card. So what's on our first list? On our first row, it looks like a standard bingo card. There's a free space in the middle, right? So you get a freebie. You can stamp it in there. I like to print mine out. I'm going to put it in my journal, my 2025 journal, and I'm going to check off the things. And when I get bingo, I'm going to keep right on going. All of these things are not important to you. That's the beautiful thing about a bingo card, is that you will find the things on this card that make your heart sing, your joy stand up and say hello, your heart go, yes, I want to do that. Your peace start to pay attention, and you will pick those things and you will pursue those things because those are the things that you need to make 2020 the best year for you. There's some things on here that should be standard that everyone should be putting their little mark on, like drink your water, get some exercise. I'm not even sure I put exercise on there because we all need to be exercising. But there are certain things on here that I think are so important and things that you might think you cannot do because the world is changing. And I want to say to you today, yes, you can. You absolutely can. And you should think about doing all the things that you thought you were going to do in 2024 that kind of screeched to a halt there about mid-November and start thinking about, okay, it is a dream deferred, but not denied. So how do I make sure that that deferment doesn't turn into a denial? So on our bingo card, I'm not going to go over every line because, as you know, I like to be here for a good time, but not for a long time, to keep it short and sweet. But there are certain things I think are important, especially as women of a certain age who are in a life of transition, who are looking towards our future. If you're in your 40s, your 50s, your late 40s, early 50s, mid to late 50s, early 60s, y'all, we could be here another 10, 20, 30 years, right? And if you're younger than that, hopefully you've got another 60, 70 years ahead of you. And if you're older than that, you still got another 10, 20 years ahead of you. And so as we're our women in transition, as we're thinking about what's next, I want you to start thinking about starting that business. First spot on the bingo card. What is it that you want to do? I'm thinking to myself, there's a snowstorm raging. And I mentioned this in my last video, which if you haven't seen it, you want to check it out. It's the 7 industries that are recession proof that you might want to think about as we move into the future. Anyway, I'm sitting here and there's a snowstorm going and I have my big old green TV over there and I've got, the weather channels are running and there are people who have to get out because first responders and essential people have to get out whether they want to or not. But right now we're kind of a state at a section of the country at a standstill. If you're in Missouri, Kansas, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, like we're not going anywhere. Like roads are closed. We're not going anywhere. But my brain starts asking, what are the businesses right now that need to be gearing up for when this storm stops? What are the businesses right now that as the world continues to move into the effects of climate change, because climate change is here. I don't care if you are a believer or not believer, the climate is changing. Do with that what you will. But what are the industries that right now, as we are snowed in here in the middle plains area of the country, but in the south, there are raging tornadoes going on, right? Like there's this weather system is crazy to watch. But there are people with businesses that are necessary right now who are sitting down plotting and planning on how they're going to execute the minute they can. The minute the roads are moderately passable. People with dump truck or tow truck services are going to be out pulling folks out of ditches, right? Salt trucks that slid off the road in some places today, they'll be back up and running, but somebody's going to be fixing those salt trucks to make sure that those axles are correct and they're not broken and they can spread that salt. Salt producers, salt storers, um, so many people. I mean, that's just the snow people. There's all the other people, the people who got into car accidents, the insurance adjusters, who are a lot of people, a lot of them are independent contractors. You see what I'm saying? So if you've thought about starting a business, it's a snow day. Get out a pad of paper and start dreaming your way into what could be the idea of 2025 that not only recession proofs your economic life and provides you a sense of peace, but also makes you feel more stable and secure. Because when we have something to focus on, an action that we have control over, we don't get bogged down in information overload. We don't get stymied by analysis paralysis. We don't get super and hyper focused on trauma when we're pursuing our own goals. Maybe it's not starting a business, maybe it's writing a book. Maybe that's the thing that you've been putting off because you thought the world may not be ready, or I might not be ready, or maybe I don't have a story in me. If you think you have a story in you, then you have got a story in you. And let me tell you something, we need more good books in the world. We need them so desperately. I am a voracious reader. I have been reading since as long as I can remember. I have had a book in my under the covers as a little girl with my flashlight. I remember the very first book, adult book, quote unquote, that I read from cover to cover one night was Stephen King and his book It. Scared the bejesus out of me, right? But I couldn't put it down. I think I was in the 6th grade. It was crazy. I had no business reading this book. But what I did was I started reading it with my dad was already in bed. I was in my room and I just waited until the house was quiet. And then I read the whole thing in one night. This is not a small book, y'all. The kinds of stories that grip us, that keep us turning the pages, are in your head. Someone out there is going to hear this and see this on their bingo card and go, oh my gosh, she's right. Like I've been sitting on this story. I've been sitting on this novel. I've been sitting on this idea. And maybe it's time. It's time. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? The year is going to pass. And that's the thing I want you to take away from this broadcast for your 2025 bingo card. The year is going to pass. We have 360 more days. Today's the 5th day of the month, of the year, excuse me. We have 360 more days to get through. So you want to spend those 360 days doom scrolling on social media, hoping to God that someone has some good news that you can focus on because the bad news is insurmountable? Or do you want to be working on your novel? Do you want to be writing your memoir? Do you want to be talking about your experiences? Do you want to be starting your degree? Do you want to go? Have you been thinking about going back to school? I mentioned in the 7 recession-proof industries that people go back to school during a downturn. And when anxiety is high, people always go back to re-up their education and re-up their skills. So maybe it's time to start that degree. Did you ever want to be anything that you are not now? Then now is the time to go be that thing. I don't care how old you are. My father is going to be 80 in a month. He turns 80 on Valentine's Day. He started teaching himself Japanese at 77. 77. So I don't come from the kind of family that says you can't because you're too old. I come from the kind of family that says, oh, you want to try something new? Okay, let's see what we can do to help you do that. Let's see how we can make that happen for you, right? So maybe it's time to start that degree. If you want to go to law school, go to law school. And trust me, we could use some good lawyers in the world, some really good ones. You want to be a nurse? Great time to go back and get your nursing degree. You want to be a teacher? We have such a shortage oh gosh, of good teachers. And not because there are I mean, there are some bad teachers out there, but education's a tough field to be in, especially the K through 12, where the pay is not great and the politics are even worse. But it may be time to go ahead and start getting that degree that you wanted anyway. Might as well do it. What are you going to wait for? You're going to work another day on a job that you hate when you really wanted to be over here making music. So maybe it's starting to make music. Where are my musicians out there? What are you working on in the secrets of your closet that you're strumming away on your guitar? You've got your phone and you're running chords and you're writing and you're doing it in secret, thinking the world doesn't want to hear what I have to say. Of course we do. Of course we do. One of the things I do love about TikTok, and if it goes away, it goes away. I'm not married to it. But one of the things I really do love about TikTok is that I hear a lot of music that I would never be exposed to. And I've discovered artists I would never have found because on TikTok, they put out their snippets and and we love music. And so the more people that hear it, the more people get to see it. And all of a sudden they're on my FYP. They're showing up in places that they never even imagined that they would. And they've got new fans and they've got new followers and people are downloading their music, right? And we all know we've seen the stories of people who have started singing later in life or writing music and all of a sudden had this amazing career, excuse me, that they never saw coming in their 40s and 50s. Susan Boyle is a great example of that when she went on, I'm going to forget the show that she won. I know it was the Simon Cowell show, but I don't remember exactly. I think it might have been America's Got Talent. It might have been Britain's Got Talent. But either way, she blew the world away with that performance. She was in her 40s. She might have even been in her 50s. And all of a sudden, everybody knows her name. Like, I think of all the writers who got started in their 40s and 50s to go on to have an amazing career after years of doing something else or just kind of languishing at things they didn't really care about, but the passion that they had for the music in their soul just never went away. So they went ahead and picked up the pen and the guitar or the piano, or they just stood in their bathroom and sang. And so maybe this is the year you start making music. Maybe this is the year you start creating art. Maybe this is the year you pick up the camera because you are extraordinary at photography and you just need permission to go out there and shoot the mouse in the brush or the bird on the limb because that's the first picture that you really took the time to set the settings and got the lighting and it just clicked and there it is. Not everyone's going to make the cover of National Geographic, but no, you're not going to make it anywhere if you don't take that first picture and put yourself out there. So if you notice, the very first line of the bingo card for us is getting started on something. Because remember, this is the podcast about women in transition. And the one thing that I know about Gen X women and women, period, is that when excuse my language, but y'all know we cuss here, when the shit hits the fan, we pivot. We figure out a new way. We reimagine what we have. We find a new direction. We do not let the mountain block us indefinitely because we either will go over it, under it, or we're going to blow a hole through it. And so here's an opportunity. 5 days into the new year, crazy weather pattern, some crazy other stuff. Here's the time for us to refocus, reimagine, and settle in and start dreaming again. And not only just dreaming, but then making a priority that leads to steps that lead to goal fulfillment. So, what else have we got on our bingo card for 2025? Giving up trauma trophies. Woo, this is going to be a good one, y'all. I asked you, how's your doom scrolling coming? And here's the thing, we doom scroll because we don't want to feel like we're alone in the chaos of the world. That's one of the reasons why we doom scroll. The second reason that we doom scroll is because a lot of people are inherently lonely because they've forgotten how to just be alone. And trauma is an easy place to bond with people over when you don't know if you have anything else in common. And so it's the friendships that you make it work because you have a terrible boss and you're both being traumatized because you have a terrible boss. And you hope that that grows into something more than just a trauma bonding. But a lot of times it doesn't. And you're only ever friends because you're bonding over the fact that you have a terrible boss, which allows you to bond in that trauma. And so we collect these trauma bonds or trauma trophies, as I like to call them, and we collect them and put them on the shelf, and we just keep collecting them. And we think we're having connections and we think we're keeping up with things and we think we're plugged in, when all we're really doing is allowing ourselves to not think about the things on that first line, the things that would make trauma less appealing to us. Because let me be clear, if you started your degree, you're not going to be hanging out with people at work who are trauma bonding about the boss because you're not staying anyway, right? You start writing your book, you go to work from 9 to 5, but from like 9 p.m. to midnight, you are lost in a world of writing of your own creation. And one day, hopefully, that creation will sustain you financially so that you don't have to work for that boss. But even if that's never your goal, the fact that you get to sit down and write your story means you don't have time to trauma bond over what's going on television. You don't have time because it's not your world anymore. And so when we give up our trauma trophies, when we extract ourselves from the doom scrolling and the trauma bonding that we're making, the trauma bonds we're making with other people, we free up ourselves to go do the things that would actually bring us more joy. Hug all your favorite people in 2025. Don't mark that one until it's done. Hug them more than once. Clean out your contacts list. Go through the social media contacts list, the cell phone contacts list, your email contacts list. Clear them out. There are folks in there that you've been talking to for 20 years. Clear them out. They're not going to call you. And even if they do, you don't have nothing to talk about. Nothing at all. Not a darn thing. You don't have anything in common. You know why? Because you haven't talked in 20 years. So make it a point to look through your contacts list and ask the question of, did we bond in trauma or are we bonded in joy? Or are we bonded at all? And if the answer is yes, we bonded in trauma, probably need to let that one go. Yes, we bond in joy, we're going to keep that one. Or we're not really bonded at all because we don't have the same life. We don't live in the same place anymore. I don't have that same job anymore. For whatever the reason, we just don't talk, and clear them out. It doesn't do your soul any good to have a bunch of folks in your contact list that you don't actually have any connections with. Okay, so this one I put on here called it's adopt. You adopted a sister city. I want y'all to travel in 2025. I want you to find a city outside of the city that you live in and call it your second sister city. And as often as you can, I want you to go there. I want you to begin to embrace it. I want you to figure out how to make it your own, how to make it feel like a second home. And that way, when you're feeling confined in your space, in a place that you just need a break, you can go to your sister city and it will feel a familiarness of home without being home, right? The familiarness of home without being home. And it'll be full of all the things that you love about it without actually being the place that you call home because you don't want to be at home right now. See? See? All right, somebody's talking. So let me pause for a minute and check the comments. See, Michelle, I'm telling you, OCD is your friend sometimes, right? When it's like, let me just, I need to go through and take care of some things. I need to move some things around. I need to move some things around. Okay. So adopt a sister city. Take the time to allow yourself permission to travel around and see where, if I could spend a day anywhere else, where would I go? Now, I would ask that that be somewhere within a 100-mile radius of where you're standing. But if you want that to be in a whole nother country, yeah, permission granted. Permission granted. Go. Absolutely. But I want you to find a secondary home that makes you feel like I can slide into that city and it feels like I belong there. I feel like I love it. You have those people who they go on vacation a lot and they're always going to the same place. And you're like, I'm so confused. There's a whole rest of the country or a whole rest of the world, but you're always going to fill in the blank. And it's because it feels like home. It feels like if I can't be where I live, this is where I would choose to be all the time. So that's where they go. I want you to find one of those places. And I want you to be able to get there with enough frequency for it to feel like home to you, which is why I said keep it within 100 miles if that's all you can do. But if you can keep it within 1,000, 12,000, 15,000 miles, go, go, especially if you don't have anything holding you back. Sold things I can't fit. Come on now, let's get in the closet. Let's get in the shoe rack. Let's get rid of the stuff. It is important if you are on a journey of health discovery to sell the things now that you can no longer fit, that you keep saying, I'm going to hang on to them because they're my As soon as I get to the way that I want to, I'm going to be able to wear this thing. That feels like stress. That doesn't feel peaceful. That doesn't feel fun. That feels like it could feel like motivation if you get into that outfit in like 6 months. It could feel like angst and shame if you're still not in that outfit in a year. And I don't want you to feel that way. So sell the things that you can't fit. I don't care if they're too big or too small. If you've lost weight or you have changed sizes and the things in your closet are too big, why are you still holding on to them? Comfort clothing is one thing. I have on here to buy some soft loungewear, which I think every woman should have 2 pairs of really incredibly soft loungewear that you put on and you just like it's like walking on a cloud. It's like being enveloped in a cloud. And I think it's so important to have a good couple pair of those, especially on snow days when you can get up under your blanket and you've got your loungewear on and it just feels like heaven and you fall asleep. But I also want you to get rid of things that are no longer serving your peace and holding on to things that don't fit us, that may hold memories that we would really prefer to forget, that hold past lives. We need to get rid of those. It's 2025. We're shedding the things that don't serve us, right? So that's one of the things you're going to do. Get rid of the things that you can't fit. I already mentioned buying soft loungewear. Drink your water. Drink your water. Please drink your water. I want you to drink your water. I'll share my clothing downsizing. I will always pick something else. Thank you, Michelle. Exactly. Just get rid of it. Because you know what's interesting is we hold on to things and hold on to things. Fashion changes so fast. The thing that you're holding on to is probably outdated in like 6 months, a year for sure, unless you're buying really classic pieces. But even then, the classic pieces, the updated classics get updated for a reason. The basic black dress has gone through how many iterations, and yet we all know we need a basic black dress, but it always looks different because times change and people change. And if you really love it, go buy yourself one that fits right. Buy the one that fits right. At whatever body you are right now, go buy it in that particular body size and wear that one. Wear that one. Because then you'll feel good. And daggone it, y'all, we are here to feel good. All right, we're drinking our water. We're taking social media breaks. I mention this all the time. Take your social media breaks. Get your passport. Get your passport. Get your passport. Get your passport. Mine is in a lovely pink sparkly cover because I think it should be pink and sparkly because that's my business. Get your passport. And you might say, but Dr. Sasheen, why do I need a passport? I have my driver's license and I'm not going out of the country anyway. First of all, it never hurts to have a second form of identification that verifies that you are a citizen of the country. Number one. I said what I said, and you know why I said it. So that passport process verifies your citizenship without question, whether you have a driver's license on you or not. So that's one reason to have a passport. The second reason you should have your passport is because it is a passport to anywhere. Most countries right now still look at the American passport, at least, with a fairly high sense of regard. It gets you into a lot of places. It's like the passport for me is like the library card. The library card was my doorway into worlds I couldn't even imagine existed, but they all exist in the pages of a book. The passport is our doorway into worlds we do not know exist, but we can get there now. And I want you to get there because I think that when you travel outside of your home turf and you begin to see how the rest of the world actually lives, not how they live on social media, not how they live in the movies, and sometimes not even how they live in books. When you see how the world actually lives, you learn a lot more about who you are and how much or how little you resonate with what you believe to be true or not true about a place that you're now visiting, right? We've all seen great um, uh, videos about people traveling, but it's not the same as putting that stamp in your own passport, going through customs and popping out of an airport in another country with your feet on the ground, with your lungs breathing in the air, with your eyes seeing those things. It's just, there's no feeling like it. And I encourage all of you to get your passport and use it at least once in 2025. Just one time. Just one time. Even if you drive, because it does allow you to drive up and down the North American and South American continents. There's a whole lot to see that doesn't require you to get on an airplane. So don't let fear of flying be the reason that you don't go. Okay? Get out there. Get it, get it, get it. Oh, Michelle got your passports for granddaughter and her mother after. Yes. Yes. Thank you for that. I got ours expedited as well, and we got ours within weeks. Perfect. We are doing this is what I'm talking about, ladies. Let us make sure that we have all the things we need to help us have our peace. Because once again, I'm going to say it. I don't know who needs to hear it, but I'm going to say it a couple more times. The process of getting your passport verifies your citizenship, period. Just going to say that. They require all kinds of original documentation to make sure that you are who you say you are, and you won't get it otherwise. So, okay. We're almost done with our bingo card. We're down to the last 2 rows. Okay, read a new book. I'm a reader, so I feel like everyone should read a new book. I don't care what kind of book it is. Go read some new books. Go explore some new things. Go to we went to I love art museums, so every time we go to the art gallery, I'm in their bookstore looking for new books, and I got myself a couple of new books from Barnes and Noble while we were there. Got myself a couple new books from the art gallery. I love picture books. There's if you can't really see them, but there's a stack over here of big, I guess they're coffee table books, but they're art books. They're artistic books full of all kinds of artistic things. Read a new book. Reread an old book. If you take a social media break and you find yourself wondering what to do with yourself, pick up your passion. What were your hobbies? What did you used to love to do before we literally spent the average person spends 6 hours scrolling social media a day, not a week. If you could fill 6 hours doing something else, what would you do? Oh, let me show you what I'm going to be doing. Just a moment. Oh. My son got me. Okay, I'm back. My son got me a puzzle for Christmas because I love puzzles. 1,000 pieces. Now, there was a time when most of us, because we weren't scrolling social media, most of us grabbed a book and hung out in a chair for 2 or 3 hours, put a puzzle together, did crosswords, Sudoku, played board games, played card games, dominoes. And when you know, you know. Spades, boy, if you know, you know. What is it that you could fill in your day if you weren't scrolling social media? What are the hobbies that bring your life back to you? Do you knit? Do you crochet? Do you make lace? I have a friend who makes lace. I was so surprised. I was like, "You really?" She's like, "Yeah, the little spool things. I do it all the time." Okay. Alrighty then. Right? And think about it. Think about it. Lace is something that is useful in the world in the way that we don't even think about. But she's like, I'm making lace. She's making lace cuffs, a piece of lace for some cuffs for a dress. It was just crazy. Not crazy in a bad way, crazy in a really good way, right? But are you an artist? Are you sitting on your watercolor that you used to love to do? Are you an oil painter? I have a wonderful friend who is an amazing artist, and I have one of her paintings in my home. But what is it? What is it? It's just it's just so interesting how we have found that. Hang on a second. Yes, yes, Diana. Our attention spans. Whoop. Hang on. Uh, we're under winter storm warnings, and now my phone is going off like crazy. I'm sorry about that, but we literally are under a winter storm warning. They're telling us all to stay off the roads because it is so bad outside right now. Um, that's why I'm saying when I was reading that we spend 6 hours of our life a day. Think about how much time Now let's be clear. We're doing it when we're going to the bathroom. We're doing it and we're not supposed to be doing it. When we're dry. We're doing it all over the place, right? So it's not 6 continuous hours, but it is still 6 hours. And because we spend so much time looking down, we're missing out. So today's GenXilations was about healing your inner child by doing your adult passions. And the video is a woman crocheting, knitting. I think she's knitting because I have some good friends who love to knit. And I think it's awesome that they have found such peace and joy in those things. So read a new book, reread an old book, have a solo movie night of your favorite movie. I literally do not care what kind of movies you love. This is a zone of freedom and it is all about you. So what's the movie that nobody else wants to watch with you, but if it comes on TV, you'd watch it every single time because you love it so much. Put that movie on your screen, pop yourself a bowl of popcorn sometime this year. Make it a date with yourself once a month and get yourself a solo movie date. Science fiction, romance, true crime, I don't care what it is. Horror movies, bad action flicks, anime, I don't care. Whatever the movie is, go have yourself a solo movie night. Cook all your favorite foods, get your favorite blankets, and if you want to do one better, take yourself out to a movie theater. Now, listen, side note here, it's winter and people are sick. So if you're going to go to a theater, you might want to um, put that off until summer when, things are maybe a little less germy out there because I don't want any of you all coming down with COVID. My family had COVID for Christmas. We did not get a chance to celebrate. I've already told the story already, but please, I want people to stay safe and healthy. And so your solo movie night at the theaters might need to wait, but you have a whole living room. Turn it into a movie theater for yourself. Turn it into a movie theater for yourself. And if you have good friends and girlfriends that you trust to also help you stay safe and healthy, have a girls' movie night. Invite over your friends who all like the same kind of movie and make your favorite snacks and have your favorite drinks and have your favorite cuddly blankets and whoever's got the biggest TV. What I want you to see in this bingo card is places where you can connect and to reconnect with yourself and with each other. So that as the year wears on and the continual woo, woo, woo from the ha, ha, ha keeps getting louder and louder, we are going to remember that our peace is non-negotiable. So let me go find a book that I want to read today because I'm not watching this nonsense on my TV. Or tonight we've got weather storms alerts blaring on our phone. I had to turn my NOAA weather radio off because the darn thing kept going off every 5 minutes because we have all these storms in the area and it's disturbing my calm, but I still have to know what's going on, right? Because I'm, parent. I'm the adult in the house. So I have to make sure that we're doing what's necessary to stay safe. But I also know that um, the world will let me know if something's happening. Sure enough, turned off the weather radio hours ago. And what happens? My phone, the National Weather Service, or at least the one in the Midwest, just alerted, stay your butts home. So, like I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying it every day that we're together, you don't need to be plugged in. Whatever news needs to find you will actually find you. It will actually find you. So, we're having movie nights, we're having girls' movie nights. Get together, watch your favorite flicks. I don't care if it's Forrest Gump, I don't care if it's Avatar. Get together and have a good time. Let's see what's going on over here in the comments. Oh, they're not even talking to me. Yes. Diana says about getting the passport straightened before the inauguration. And you know what, Diana, excuse me, that is one of the reasons why I've been stressing it so heavily, because my fear is that many of the departments that we need to get things done might be taken down to skeletal staff and might be gutted in such a way that we just won't be able to get things in a timely fashion done anymore. And I don't know about you all, but I don't want to be in a position to not be able to go if I want to go or if I have to go. I'm going to say it out loud. I'm not worried about it, but having our ducks in a row is so important to me that I'm going to keep stressing to get our ducks in a row as much as we can. So, We do movie night, and we do movie nights in my house too with homemade popcorn. I make it on the stove. That is so awesome, Michelle. Passport is at the post office, which yes, that's where we got ours done was at the post office, and yes, they're trying to target it to. I have heard that news. I'm going to have to verify this is true, but I am hearing that they're trying to take passport services out of the post office. And honestly, y'all, that'll be extraordinarily detrimental because where else are we going to get it done? Post offices are everywhere, right? If we have to go to a State Department bill, oh my gosh, I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it. Nope. All right, what else do we got on our bingo card as we wrap it up and bring it to a close? Bought a new purse. Listen, I'm a purse hound. I'm a purse girl. I like purses. I like little purses about yay big. I don't mind them a little bit bigger, but I love a good quality purse. I like what I like. Buy yourself something pretty. Buy yourself a new piece of something. Retail therapy is a thing. Now, am I saying go out and blow everything? But no, but I'm not. But I am saying I have it on here twice. Bought a new purse, spent money on me. It is so easy when the world feels like it is imploding, exploding, uh, falling apart, coming together. It feels like we're constantly living in a state of complete chaos. It is so easy to think I can do nothing. I must stay in the house. I must keep my head down. I must hoard and hunker. Well, let me tell you something. You cannot hoard and hunker enough to make the fear go away. You cannot hoard and hunker down enough to make the fear go away. Something has to give when we're in crisis survival mode. And so I can't ask you to not be in crisis survival mode because I don't know how you are hardwired. But what I can tell you is you've got to find things that pop the valve on the stress. And retail therapy sometimes is the perfect thing. You have to have places and ways to pop the cork on the champagne bottle. Because if you don't, the champagne bottle is going to explode and destroy things in its path. And so buy yourself a purse, buy a pair of new shoes, buy yourself a coat, buy yourself a watch. Take a moment and ask yourself, if I can only have one thing a month, a week, whatever, I don't care how often you buy it because I'm not pocket watching you. Spend your money how you going to spend it. What can I get myself that makes me feel good? That relieves some of the stress, that makes me feel like the world is still normal in an otherwise crazy world. Go get the Godiva chocolates if that's what you want. Hell, go get the Ghirardelli chocolates if that's what you want. Fly to San Francisco and visit the Ghirardelli chocolate factory. I've done it. It's amazing. Right? It is it is important to me, and it is important that I say this message out to all of my sisters out there. It is never going to be okay to isolate and pretend like the world is not happening around us. We are stronger together. Absolutely. We are stronger together. Absolutely. But you are also strong on your own. And you are capable of weathering all kinds of storms if you take care of yourself first. You cannot weather the storm in a boat with holes in it, but you can weather it on a nice, sleek, brand new yacht if that's what you want to buy. So find the thing to spend on that allows you to bring you back to yourself. Buy a new purse or spend some money on yourself. Buy those cute shoes. Hang on. Lost 10 pounds after the election. Oh, but now shopping is fun. Okay. I feel that. Yeah. I think the stress weight is always the hardest. It's easiest to come off and the hardest that we have to contend with. Treated myself to a bread maker. Look at you. Um, I love that. Okay, your house is going to smell amazing, Michelle. Michelle's going to be sending out bread samples. All right. We're going to save we're going to save one of these corners until the end. We'll see this until the end. We bought a new purse. Oh, hang on a minute. Don't forget the magic word SPA. Most places have weekday specials. Oh, see? Okay, let me finish getting through this. Book your trip. This goes with our adopting a sister city. If you missed the first part of this, go back and listen to what I'm saying about finding a twin city that you can call your pseudo home when you just need to get away. And then book the trip. Don't just get online, because we do this, right? We'll get online, get on the internet, because the internet makes life so convenient. Get on the internet, figure out how to, oh, I like this about this city. I like this about that city. This would be fun. This feels like this could be a good place. And then we look at it in pictures and we don't book the trip. You can't adopt a sister city if you don't actually go to the sister city. So when you figure out your sister city, book the trip. Go start making that city your own. Find your favorite hotel or Airbnb if that's your thing, or hostel if that's your thing. Find the places that you stay that make you feel comfortable, that you're part of the community. Find your favorite things to do there, the favorite places to eat there, the favorite coffee shops, the favorite places to shop, the favorite artsy things or whatever. Find out what the people do there. Are there certain festivals? Do they celebrate certain things? Are there certain happenings in this city? When you adopt a place and begin to make it your sister, then you spend time with your sister. You get to know it, you get to live in it, you get to swim in it, so that when you need to get away, when you need to pop the cork on the bottle, you book the trip. You just book the trip. And booking the trip might just be making the reservation at the hotel, getting in your car and taking off. Right? A lot of the women that I do life with, that I find amazing and wonderful, have a secondary place that they go to escape the world, that feels like this is my spot that I go to when I'm ready to not have to deal with the realities of this over here. Because sometimes we can't just up and move, right? We have responsibilities. We have businesses that we're running, we have jobs, we have families, we have all kinds of things that might prevent us from actually picking up and relocating, because that's always going to be my first choice. But if you can't do that, then you find a sister city and you make it your second home. And you spend time there and you create a life for yourself that you can steal away to once a month or once a quarter, knowing that I go there and it's just me, myself, and I, and it's amazing. So book the trip. Finally, write in your journal. Write in your journal. If you picked up the Magical Seven, Surviving and Thriving in 2025, the ebook that I put out, I talk about the 2 types of journaling that you need to do to make sure that you're achieving the things that you want to achieve. Writing in your journal is important. When I work with my divorce clients, sometimes it would be a struggle for people to write, because not everybody is a writer. So I like to remind people, this handy dandy thing that we have right here, it comes with lots of apps on it. And one of those apps will record your voice and timestamp it and date stamp it for you. And so all of a sudden you have a virtual journal in your hand. And maybe you'll transcribe it someday, or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll just put them on a SIM card and you'll just have your musings. But it's important to get stuff off our chest. And sometimes we need to say things that not everybody needs to hear. Sometimes we have thoughts that are not shareable. And so we need a safe place to put those thoughts, to share with something outside of ourselves without the repercussions of somebody reading it or hearing it that may irreparably damage a relationship. That's where your journal comes in. That's where you put your stuff. That's where you put your musings, your thoughts. And in 2025, y'all, let's be very clear. There are going to be times when you have to bite your tongue. Because as much as I'm going to say, we're taking no shit, absolutely, and we're pushing back, there are still going to be people that you have to deal with that you're going to push, but you can't push as hard as you want to because circumstances, right? But that journal, man, that journal can get it all. It will get every piece of it. Now, I journal daily. I doodle while I'm journaling. I draw pictures to symbolize certain things that are going on in my head that words just don't capture. I don't care how you do it. I would just encourage you to get into your journal and write, or get into your audio journal and talk, because sometimes just hearing it come out is all you need. Now, the end of our bingo card has 2 very important squares that everyone does not get to fill in until December 31st of 2025. The first is kept my plans to myself. Nothing will derail your 2025 faster than to be doing all of these wonderful things, telling people about all the stuff that you're accomplishing, and then getting criticized heavily because people are in your business, jealous that you're moving on, jealous that you seem so content, jealous that you seem so happy, jealous that you're not stressed, mad at you for not engaging, really pissed off that you don't want to trauma bond anymore. How the heck did you get so content? Don't you know the world is coming to a standstill? Don't you know his hair is on fire? He did this, he did that. And here you are trying to find a sister city, and you bought yourself a new purse, and you're going to not share all the wonderful things that you're going to do or that you have until after they're done, because somebody is going to try and throw a fork in your socket to short it out. So you keep your plans to yourself. You're going to go buy a new purse, keep it to yourself. You're going to get your passport, keep it to yourself until it gets here. Then you can talk about it all you want to. And when folks say, well, why'd you get your passport? Because I wanted one. You had a solo movie night at your house. You did all the things. People were trying to call you. Nobody could reach you. Your phone was on do not disturb. Then you're calling folks back in a couple of hours. They're like, where have you been? Oh, I had a movie date. Well, why didn't you tell me? I would have come over. Keep your plans to yourself, the big ones and the small ones. Keep the plans to yourself. Shout the accomplishments from the rooftop. Shout them from the rooftops, because the people who will support you, us in the community, us here, the ones who are going to support you, we want to hear what you've done. We want to celebrate the wins with you. We want to know that you bought the loungewear, or that you went back to school to get this degree, or that you decided to crochet this blanket that you've had your eye on forever. You're learning a new language. We want to hear that, and there's no judgment here. We want you to succeed. We want you to thrive. And most importantly, we want to help you protect your peace here. And so shout it to the rooftops after you've made your decisions and you've put them in play, and you're doing the thing. So on December 31st, 2025, you're going to look back and go, I kept my plans to myself, and daggone it, I accomplished almost 100% of them, because there wasn't somebody else's jealousies or traumas trying to hold me down. Which leads to the next and final square on our bingo card. December 31st, 2025, we're going to stamp that we stopped giving a damn. We just stopped giving a damn. If it didn't concern us directly, we stopped giving a damn. If it wasn't something we could do something about, not just hair on fire, but actual actions I could take to help, I stopped giving a damn. If it wasn't a position that I needed to take that would help people, I'm not going to give a damn about that. You're going to stop giving a damn about people's opinions. You're going to stop giving a damn about people's hyperbole. You're going to stop giving a damn about people's chatter. And you're going to stop giving a damn about people's insecurities about what you're doing. So you're going to stamp that I stopped giving a damn. And by stopping that, you will know that you protected your peace at all costs, because you cannot protect your peace at all costs and give a damn about everything under the sun. You give a damn about the things that are important and that protect your peace. You do not give a damn about anything else. Now, does that mean we turn into a bunch of hard-hearted, cold, callous people? No. And by the way, if you're already kind of a hard-hearted and cold, callous person, I'm not going to tell you that you're bad for that, because sometimes the world makes you callous. Sometimes the world makes you hard-hearted. And sometimes the world makes you cold. So I'm not going to pass judgment on that either. What I'm saying is we could learn something from our sisters who are a little less emotionally attached to things that are happening outside of them. And we could remember that we can give ourselves a lot of grace to be exactly who we are in the moment. And that it is entirely okay to not give a damn about everything, including the things that people get up to who are close to us. Doesn't matter who they are. If their drama is causing you pain, you don't have to give a damn about that anymore. I'm giving you permission. That's our bingo card. That's our bingo card. We have got an amazing 2025 ahead of us. We have so much more to talk about, so many things. My next video coming out is all about women who got started after 40. So back to that first line of the bingo card. If you are thinking about anything that you potentially think, oh, it's too late. I don't know that I can get this started. Yes, you can. I'm going to talk about women who did the very things that people would have definitely said to them, you can't do that. You're literally X years old. You cannot do that. You cannot. And they said, watch me. That's coming up this week. Otherwise, this has been great. Thank you all for hanging out with me for almost an hour. Gosh, ladies, y'all just let me talk like crazy. Thanks for hanging out with me for almost an hour. Please, if you are in the pathways of these storms, please stay safe. We need you in 2025 and beyond. We need your light, we need your energy, and we need your sisterhood. That's it for today. Take care of yourselves. If you want a copy of this bingo PDF, I will attach it to this. I think I can attach it in here. If not, I'll make sure to put a link to it and you can go get it and snag it and use it. Otherwise, I will see you in a couple days. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening, everybody. Stay safe and warm and protect your peace. Bye.